So our land flooded, and it was the worst flooding event that I had seen since I had been living on this property. And I wanted to start this video by saying that we're okay, and the house is very fortunate that it's in a position where it doesn't get as affected by heavy rains or flooding or events like that. I waited a pretty long time to release this video because it is heartbreaking to kind of see a lot of the work, a lot of the effort being washed away, and just started to consider other people that experience flood and how it is significantly worse than what we experienced. And I think that's all I want to say about it. But going into this, I'm about to show footage of damaged landscape, which may seem mild to most, but I want this to be a learning experience. If you think that's going to be too much to see, you might want to click off this video. I don't think it's anything drastic that I'm showing, but somebody who's experienced a flood probably would not want to watch this. So, best wishes. Most of the material in between this pile and that pile was washed down. This was fully inundated with water. The vehicle was parked here and there was water coming up to the bottom of the car. So I moved it just out of fear, damage to the car. But this has been the worst flooding event that I've seen since I've been here. It cut away most of the berm, and I was really surprised by this. This must have happened early on, because what happened over here was the holding capacity of this whole driveway was the water was too much, and it started to spill over. And this was to a lesser degree the issue before. Water would come down the driveway and erode through here. So that was the initial idea of building this berm, and then also using that water resource down there. But I think it might be time for a change. There's a lot of exposed roots in here, a lot of deposited gravel down there in the drainway, the gully. This got moved in the rain, in the flooding. And over here on the other side of this pipe, on the uphill side, I'll show you how much gravel got deposited. So lots of erosion happened right there. Water came under the fence, brought out a lot of rock, which I'm able to use, but so it's a lot of gravel. This once again was stopped up fully, and the overflow was fully running, and then water just was spreading straight down the driveway, down slope. So here's another look at the spillway. It was full of water as well. So some thoughts are I can focus more on this because it is a easier task. It has a smaller water catchment area. Up here, I think I can manage that pretty well, but the water that comes from uphill off the highway, almost half a mile of collected rainwater from an entire mountainside, comes into this tiny little area with a very insignificantly sized pipe, and it just can't handle it. So I may have to just accept that it's going to flood until I get smarter or read some more books and figure out what I need to do. I think I'm actually going to tear this berm down and allow it to flow through there and do some sort of rock stabilization to where at least the water is slowing down, but it's not eroding away the driveway as much. And then maybe it'll take a few years, but I can come back to this idea to have the beneficial resource of water being utilized down there. But at this point, I think it's just about survival, and this is what the water's throwing at me, so I need to respond appropriately. So it's the next morning, and I'm reassessing some more of the water damage during the flood. You can see the erosive path that came down the hill, exposed some larger roots here. It's a larger deposit of gravel and sand right here. This log was not moved during the flood. It was already here to dry out. And as we go further down the hill, I'll show you that lower swell that got broken. You can see the path of the water. It cleared a lot of the younger vegetation and laid the slightly older vegetation down. So this berm, this swell was broken through, water flooded down there. And then this is where the black currants are. It's a larger deposit. And then on the other end of the swell, where I have it deeper, this was a relatively new addition. I was trying to build that up and have the water back up behind the camera over there. So it broke over there, and it also broke here and flooded down that way. Here's where the water is concentrated and comes in and overwhelms the road, and then on the other side of the fence is the driveway. So if you're not aware yet, the water gets concentrated right there, and it's collected from almost a half a mile uphill of that point, and it all gets centrally located at the bottom of this watershed. And then it comes onto the road and then onto the property. And some cases, there's some legality, different things like that. You can only control the highest point on your particular land or your area, or what's arbitrarily designated as yours. So on this side of the fence, my side of the fence is the highest point in my watershed that I can go. The unfortunate part is it's just below the really destructive concentrated part where the water's coming in. So if I could coordinate with anybody, that would be wonderful. It would be to fix the problem just above that. And if I got really ambitious, talk with the whole neighborhood and go to the very, very top of the watershed where the problem is starting, and I would try to get some more trees planted so it's not just pure runoff from hardscapes and concrete. But that's a really ambitious goal. For now, I can only work right here. There's a few things I've brainstormed, but it very much is just like a survival situation, and just try to have the problem not get any worse. But the main thing is education, because I think some people are probably dealing with issues like this that are way worse than what I have. We're very grateful that our house is in a good location just by happenstance. It's not affected by the flooding water.